Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the first installment of Cocktails from Home with myself, Jay Rose, and Deidre Scioscia, my counterpart at Hunterdon, where the two of us are in the specialty division where we play around with craft spirits and craft beer, like the ultra craft beer, things that are kind of off the beaten path that you don't hear about every day. So our goal here with this Cocktails at Home video is, now that we're all kind of stuck at home and can't go to the bar, we're going to teach you how to make legit drinks at home. I know that I've been craving going to a bar and sitting there and having some drinks at the bar and having an actual bartender make me drinks. So I've tried to make some drinks at home, and they've been okay. You know, they're serviceable, they get the job done, but they're not real cocktails. I'm mixing things with a fork. Deidre found out I'm mixing drinks with a fork and was like, what are you doing? Let me walk you through the process of making a cocktail, a legit cocktail with actual tools. Now, if you're home and you want to make cocktails, you should probably, as I was instructed to do, go ahead and jump on Amazon and get you an actual cocktail set. And we're going to run through what all of this stuff is and how it's used. Deidre was appalled that I was mixing things with a fork. So it makes more sense, and things are done for a reason when you have these actual tools in front of you to do things. You can mix a drink with a mason jar, I guess, but you're not going to get the same results. The analogy I like to use really is someone's going to give you a picture to hang on the wall, and they're going to give you a screw and a hammer. You'll get the job done, but it's going to be a hot mess. It's not going to be done correctly. It's not going to be done well. It may look sort of the way it should, but it's not the way it should be. And I think that a lot of us that are making cocktails at home are finding that we're just not 100% there. So Deidre has been in the business as a bartender, as a beverage consultant, as a beverage director for 20 years. So she knows the art of cocktailing inside out and backwards. I'm a beer guy. I've been doing beer for 20 years, and I'm now selling spirits. I've been doing that for a couple years, and I have the basic foundation of what needs to happen with spirits and cocktailing, but I'm not doing it correctly. So Deidre is going to walk us through how to make some drinks. Today, we're going to do a martini, just a classic martini. We're going to have videos that follow that. We're going to end up doing all kinds of classic things. We'll do Manhattans, we'll do margaritas, we'll do Manhattan, you name it. We're going to do it all. And she's going to show me how to do it. And we're all going to, and Prince, right? We're all going to learn together. As we start here, I've got a little bourbon I'm sipping on just to loosen things up a little bit. And we're going to start with the tools. Deidre, how are you?
I'm good. Well, I'm getting excited. I'm excited to make some martinis.
Yes, I'm excited too. And I can't believe that all this time in my adult life, I've never really actually made a martini, and you gave me the recipe yesterday to make the drink we're going to make today, and it blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. I couldn't believe that I had never, we'll get into all of that. So we have, I got a bar set, as you instructed me to do, because like I said, I was stirring drinks for like 6 seconds with a fork, and I found out that was an incorrect way to do things. So we're going to show people who are at home how to make drinks the correct way with the correct tools. So I've got this set in front of me. Dee, what am I looking at here in front of me?
Okay. First, let's start with these two metal containers.
Gotcha.
These are called Boston shakers. They are a set. They fit one in the other, and this is what you'll use to shake your shaken drinks.
Correct.
You can use either side of them to stir your stirred cocktails as well.
Okay.
The metal helps in the chill factor. They're just really the proper way and proper vessel to make cocktails in.
And these are called Boston shakers, right?
They're called Boston shakers.
So if people want to search these online, this is what you look for, is the Boston shaker. This is the way to do it, as opposed to the way I had it, was I had this piece, and then you have the piece that goes on top, and the cap that goes on top of the pour, and you shake it, you know.
Which you can use those as well, but these are more versatile in my opinion, and they you know, if you're in a restaurant, this is really what you're going to see people making their drinks with.
Exactly.
So, and you know, they're not expensive. They're easy to purchase.
This set costs $30.
Yep. You're also, another key tool in case you want to not stir your cocktails with a fork is going to be a bar spoon.
I'm mystified by this thing.
Yeah. A bar spoon, I don't love this bar spoon that much because it's not as long as I want it to be. The longer bar spoons help you manipulate the ice better. But really, the construction and utilization of a bar spoon is to enable you to manipulate the ice, which chills and dilutes the drink properly.
Gotcha.
So water dilution is a big thing in proper cocktail making.
Which blew my mind, and I realized that yesterday when I made the martini recipe that you sent over, that whole ice dilution thing completely made the drink what it was for me.
Exactly. And then you're going to want to have a muddler. These come in all different shapes and sizes. This is perfectly serviceable, and this can help you make all of your drinks that you need to muddle things for. Yep.
I got a wood one.
Yep. I have some wooden ones. I have this one, but this is a perfectly serviceable muddler. It came in this little kit, so we're good to go with that.
Perfect.
Then you're going to need a jigger.
Very important.
What's a jigger? A jigger enables you to measure your drinks. Right. This is the standard jigger that I like to use. It's an ounce on its top side and a ½ ounce on its bottom.
Gotcha.
You will also you can have a variety of strainers. You can have one strainer. I obviously have all of the strainers.
Nice.
I'll go through what they are. This is called a Hawthorne strainer. It has this coil.
It's got like that spring coil bit on the bottom, right?
It's probably the easiest to use and the most serviceable, and you can use it for pretty much everything. Fits right into that shaker, gives it a nice seal. It's easy to manipulate. So this is the one I probably use the most. This is a fine strainer. It's used in conjunction usually with the Hawthorne or the other strainer I'm going to show you.
Right.
This is used to either finely remove any tiny, tiny particles. If you're making drinks that have any kind of herb in them and you don't want that herb to actually make it into the drink, this will take it out. If you have something like a cocktail purist and they want no sign of an ice chip on the top of their martini, you can fine strain it for them. And one thing that it also does is that any drink that has citrus or froth or foam from an egg white, this actually aerates it and gives it more of a velvety texture when you pour it through the fine strainer.
Did not know that. Awesome.
So that's what we use that for. This is a cool little thing. It's called a julep strainer. This is actually the precursor to the modern day straw. This was used at the top of juleps so that when you were drinking them, you didn't get a face full of ice.
Get out of here.
It's also said that they were used because back in the day, people didn't have really great dental health and your teeth would hurt when the ice would touch them. So you would put this strainer over your glass and that's how you would drink your beverage.
Wow.
So, a lot of history. There's a lot of history in cocktails that I find very fun.
There is. I agree with that.
And then lastly, this is not a must-have, but if you find yourself making a lot of cocktails at home, it's kind of cool to have pourers because it definitely helps you in the actual construction of the drink. And I find that once you start making drinks at home and you get really into it, being able to make them really well is really pleasurable. The actual construction of the drink
100%.
And then the enjoying the beverage itself.
100%.
It's like when you learn how to cook and you learn to use all the tools that you cook with, you always enjoy it much, much more.
Right.
So there's the tools that came in that little kit. What did we spend on that little kit? Maybe like $30?
It was $30. And I mean,
so you got everything you needed in order to make any drink you really want to make.
Right. And as opposed to, I mean, I know there's been some articles floating around where they're saying, stir your drink with chopsticks and this and that. Spend the money. Get on it. You're on Amazon anyway. You're drinking all day anyway. By 10 o'clock at night, you want to drink. I love beer, obviously, but you get to the point where you're just like, God, I need a drink. So get these tools in your life. Go on Amazon, get a nice just a $30 bar set, and you will be able to make any one of these drinks. Any of the ones you Google, any of the recipes you see, you'll be able to make these drinks. So today, just as kind of a first off, kind of a basic thing, we're going to make a martini. And we're going to use a couple of the products that Deidre and I are out in the world talking about. The Boxer gin, which is a traditional English dry gin. And then we have how do I say this? Yasgure vermouth?
Yzagari. Yzagari vermouth. I'm going to move over to my cocktail station. I'm going to bring my large shaker, my bar spoon, my jigger, and my Hawthorne strainer with me.
Let's do it. I'm at my cocktail station, and we're gonna construct an old school, traditional London dry martini. I did this yesterday just for practice, research and development purposes only.
Yeah.
And it was tremendous.
So I'm gonna grab some ice into my larger shaker tin.
All right, I'll do that with you.
I have a pit bull standing next to me that needs ice every time I open the freezer.
Yeah, me too.
One of the biggest things people do is they never use enough ice when they make cocktails, ever.
Oh, okay.
So you want to fill this about 3/4 of the way up, right?
Gotcha.
Then you're going to get your jigger.
Gotcha.
The recipe that we're going to use is 2.5 ounces of gin and a half ounce of vermouth.
So
that being said, you can vary those degrees.
Okay.
But so let's go with that to start. So get your gin.
And this is the 1 ounce side, right?
This is the 1 ounce side. So 2 of those. Flip it to the half ounce side.
Gotcha.
Make this so much faster. That's why we use them in the restaurant.
I see it. I see it.
And you get your half ounce of vermouth.
Half ounce of vermouth going in.
Once you open vermouth, you should store it in the refrigerator.
Oh, did not know that. Good to know.
Vermouth is essentially wine.
Right.
With an herbal component to it.
Okay.
So it is not going to last as long as hot alcohol. Putting it in the refrigerator keeps it fresh and gives it a longer shelf life.
Do I keep the pourer on or do I put the cap back on?
I usually keep the cap on. I don't put a pourer on my vermouth because I keep it in the fridge.
Good to know.
Then you're going to use your bar spoon.
Gotcha.
The bar spoon enables you to manipulate the ice.
Right.
There is a practice to this. It takes a while to understand it. You kind of hold it like a pencil. That's how I kind of explain it to people. You put it into the top of the ice and you turn your hand. You don't use it like this.
Oh.
You turn your hand. And that enables the ice to mix the cocktail, not the spoon.
Oh, I get it.
That gives you the proper dilution of water as well into the cocktail, which is super important because that brings the aromatics out. And you want a cold martini.
So what we're talking about here is we're talking about when you sent me the recipe, you're stirring this like this for 1 minute.
Yeah, I stirred for about a good 60 seconds. Because you definitely want the proper dilution and the proper chill. Now, some people shake their martinis. If you're drinking a vodka martini, feel free to go ahead and shake it. If you don't like the ice chips, fine, strain it. Some people love the ice chips. With gin, we traditionally stir them because we don't want to bruise the botanicals in the gin.
Okay.
So we traditionally stir these. And we don't really want to bruise the botanicals in the vermouth.
All right.
Okay, so we're pretty much done. We're done on our shake.
So you're using your fingers and you're not using your entire arm.
You're not using your arm. You're kind of twirling it like you would twirl, like you had a pencil in your hand.
Gotcha. And I can see the ice is melting as I'm doing this, and that's what you want.
Yeah, you want an ice melt. You want to use a larger ice cube if you can. Most people's home refrigerators have that square cube, so it gives you the right rate of dilution. Like if you use the smaller ice cubes, you're going to get too much melt. It's going to be too watery.
Gotcha.
So once you're finished doing that, you cap it off with your little Hawthorne strainer. I'm going to grab a classic martini glass. And
so why are you using, what is that? What's with that glass? Like why is that so special?
So the martini glass was invented for martinis specifically. It is kind of an iteration or variation of a cocktail glass. A cocktail glass had a more scooped bottom, and it didn't have this funnel. What the physics of this enables you to do is the long stem keeps it from getting warm. So when you're holding it, obviously the cocktail stays cold.
Brilliant.
This deep funnel keeps the mixture and dilution of the drink even.
Okay.
That's from a physics perspective.
Wow, physics. We're adding science into cocktailing. Who knew?
There's cocktailing is all mixed up with science. That's what it is.
Right.
Just like baking, right? Baking's all science. Cocktail making is a lot of science.
Yeah.
The original cocktail recipe for a martini, which was published in like the early 1900s, was gin, martini vermouth, where the name of the drink pretty much comes from, and citrus bitters. We've evolved that really into just plain straight lemon citrus. Back in the day, most people didn't have access all over the world to citrus fruit. Now we do. Why not use the real thing?
Yeah, you're right.
At home, if you don't have, a peel knife or a twist knife, just use a peeler, like a vegetable peeler. The reason that this works so well is that it gives you the peel, but not the pith. You don't want the pith. The pith is bitter. You just want to express the oils. So then you twist this guy up.
Oh boy.
You can see the oils express into the drink.
Well, I got peels flying all over the room.
Well, it's going to be what it's going to be.
All right. So how are we expressing?
Express the oil. Then I like to rim the glass with it, and then I take this peel and I throw it out.
You throw it where?
I throw it out. It's in my sink.
I threw it out too.
You don't need to put it in the drink. A lot of people put it in the drink. It's a pretty garnish. That's about it. I then like to garnish it with an olive. You can get creative with the olives that you use. I have jalapeno stuffed olives. I have pimento stuffed olives. You can do blue cheese stuffed olives.
I've heard of these, yes. I'm not an olives guy, but I think the blue cheese stuff might be right up my alley.
They're delicious. I'm grabbing myself a jalapeno stuffed olive. That's another reason for the construction of the conical shape is that a olive sits perfectly in the bottom of the glass.
Perfect.
And you've just made yourself a classic gin martini.
All right, I'm going to take a sip, see where we're at. Wow. Okay.
Good stuff, right? The thing that's great about this glass too, and that's why I asked you to use a wider mouth glass at the top. Before you even drink it, you get all of that kind of herbaceousness with vermouth.
Yep.
And a lot of people have kind of taken vermouth out of the equation for a lot of years because vermouth's got cheaper and cheaper and cheaper.
Right.
This particular vermouth that we're using, the Izagara, is a Spanish vermouth, and the botanicals in it are just spectacular.
Right.
And they play with like the astringency in the juniper in the classic London dry style gin.
You're not wrong.
There it is, man.
Wow. This is incredible. Even in my goofy Michelob glass
And there's no way, and there's like no way not to feel kind of classy and happy and when you're drinking a martini. I mean, I know we all really wish we could go to a nice restaurant and sit there and have a drink, but this is kind of in the environment that we're in now, the second best thing. So I highly recommend, just spending a little bit of money, getting yourself a nice bar kit and making yourself feel happy with a nice cocktail. Yeah,
I mean, we're at home anyway, so why not make great drinks the correct way, with the correct tools, the correct ingredients. That's why we're here. I'm learning as well as you how to do all this. That's insanely good. Wonderful. I did have a beer, but I think we're out of time. We'll get up with that the next time. This is our first one. These are going to evolve over time. There'll be production value, God knows what else. There'll be graphics. But for the first one, we're in our kitchens figuring things out, and we're happy for you all tuning in, checking out, and maybe hopefully learning something. I learned something. I learned that martinis are amazing.
Then my job here is done.
It's life-changing. I can feel my life changing in front of me. This is awesome. Wow. Great. Well, that's it for us. Cocktails at Home. My name's Jay Rose. That's Deidre Scioscia. Deidre, good to see you. Thank you for the tips and the tricks. We appreciate you. And cheers.